Hello internet, so today we are going to be looking at r/egg IRL, and this was actually a subreddit that Mrs. Flopper found, so all the credit goes to her on this one. She has hand selected a bunch, and I mean a bunch of posts, and I kind of also went through them just to pick the best ones, but it is basically all her. So you might be thinking, what is egg IRL? And well, it is Reddit, so you know it has to do something with transgender. So if we look at the definition, egg is slang for a person who is transgender but has not yet realized or accepted their identity. The term is often used in online spaces and is associated with the idea of cracking, where the person's understanding of their gender identity breaks through their current self-perception. The egg metaphor suggests a process of self-discovery and acceptance, where the person eventually emerges as their true transgender self. And I like how down here it says some individuals may find it offensive or prefer other terms. It makes me really wonder what these people wouldn't be offended by. It's crucial to respect individual self-identification and avoid applying the term to someone without their consent. You know, people call me a furry all the time without my consent, so can I call the police or something? But yes, now that you're caught up on the lore of the egg trans community on Reddit, let us look at the posts. Her, hey dad, I want to wear girl clothes. Me, dude, same. Now this is, oh my god. I hope to god this is a joke, but I don't know what to say here. I'm trying not to get banned. If you want to know what harms a movement the most, it is involving kids. I just can't believe that such a small group of people have completely killed the left. Let's go down to the comments before I crash out, because we are just on the first post, but 8.3 thousand upvotes too, and this got 11.8 thousand likes. Showed this to my boyfriend and he said, you might even say they are transgenerational. Yeah, this joke was fucking ass. You may be expecting his dad jokes are coming in. Why not mom jokes? Isn't that what we're trying to achieve here? Look how happy they are, 700 upvotes. Oh, good lord. Did you know that happiness isn't actually a measure whether someone is doing something morally right or wrong? Didn't we learn this from Epstein? Honestly, the difference is just insane. The eyes of her on the left just look dead inside, but on the right, they are full of life. Oh my god, I didn't even see this. They're wearing like a sports bra, dude. Oh my god, no. That is diabolical, dude. A family that explores who they are together. Best wishes for you both. Oh my god. Yeah, I don't think this is the type of exploration a 4-year-old should be doing. I think Jordan Peterson said it pretty well, that kids, obviously, if they are raised with sisters or whatever, are genuinely gonna try to or not even sisters, they take after their mother, you know, they're gonna want to wear the shoes or whatever just to, you know, have fun, but that's completely different, and the goals are completely different here. Pretending to be a woman does not make you a woman. And if your kid does do that, I don't think it's really that big of a deal. Maybe if it's like an obsessive behavior, that's one thing to look out for, but if they just, you know, dress up just for fun and then run around, get bored, and then go do something completely different, I don't think the kid should be punished or anything for that. I remember trying to balance in my mom's heels when I was a kid. It wasn't a big deal at all. But this is just, I don't want to say asylum worthy, because obviously this person was told by people who are educated, and I'm gonna come back to this point every time. It's the people at the top that push this shit and that get the population thinking stupid fucking things. They always appeal to some type of authority for why all this is just okay. Just use your fucking head. I know some people might not agree, but I genuinely think being trans has to be at least partially genetic. Please show us your peer-reviewed research on the subject. Otherwise, you can genuinely think unsubstantiated bullshit elsewhere. Holy shit, this guy got minus 14 downvotes? I thought this was something that they genuinely believed in. But I actually agree to this to some extent, not the way they're saying, but I think some people are just born to be more influenced by their environment and more insecure, and are way more prone to fall into these belief systems, and then they get exploited by the media and doctors, unfortunately. We are not doing these people any favors. It's some really sick stuff. Like I said, I think we're gonna look back on history and be like, what the fuck were we doing here? Uh-oh, looks like someone said something against trans kids. First of all, her, okay, correcting the pronouns, Get out if you can't respect that. Second of all, can we tell the age of the kid from 2 pictures? Kid's faces squish like that until puberty. Thirdly, there's nothing permanent being done here. Kids get a concept of gender at around age 9 to 12, and at those ages there would be no surgery or HRT with fully reversible hormone blockers at most. Okay, first of all, no. I guess if you were to use them for like a month, it wouldn't matter, but you know, the pipeline is there to keep you on them through adulthood. We know this is a fact. And second of all, you don't think radicalizing your kid is gonna do anything permanent to them when they get up into these ages, especially if it's constantly reinforced in their life? Maybe they're talking about like the genital removal surgery, but like not all harm is done physically. What do you think the kid would remember long term? Her mom accepting and respecting her feelings, even if temporary, or her ignoring her and bullying her? Who said you have to bully the kid just because they have some ideas that, you know, are outlandish? You don't have to bully the kid. You just tell them, no, that's not, you know, the reality of the situation, and we can move on now, you know? It doesn't have to be anything crazy. Hair can always be cut, clothes can be sold, and a new wardrobe can be bought, but that can't be forgotten. Yeah, if my dad ever did that, or did that to me, I would not forget it. That is for fucking sure. If I all of a sudden saw my 6-foot, hairy, full goatee dad start wearing a dress, shaving his beard, and, I don't know, wearing a sports bra outside, oh my god, dude. I think even if I was 10, I would crash out. Like I said, we just need to get rid of this whole concept of gender because that is really what's fueling all this nonsense at the end of the day. But anyway, let's move on. Help, please. Okay, so I really want to be a girl, but I don't want to be an old woman. I'd rather be an old man. 845 upvotes. So this is something else that kind of irks me, and it's the language that they choose to use. Like, who wants to be a girl? I think girls want to be seen as women. And that applies to even if you're a kid or something. You want to be seen as more mature and actually, you know, an adult who can be respected. But I see people use the words girl and boy all the time. And I actually know someone who does this because, I don't know, the Snapchat stories or whatever, like you can see public ones. And there's a lot of people that, claim to be non-binary and all the other genders, and they always say like I want to be a boy. Like, that's so weird to me. It just feels like really childish behavior. But let's check out the comments. To be honest, I'm already an old man, which is really weird because I'm also a girl, but I'm also like a fun uncle, so what the fuck? Sarah, local proto cat girl, can we call who do we call to get this person evaluated? I'm sorry, but I would not want this person around my kid's uncle, Jesus. This sounds like you need to examine your views on women and work through some misogynistic attitudes which you've inherited due to the media, I won't lie. Oh my god, this person's reading way deeper into it than even I did. I think obviously they just have some idealistic perception of what it's like to be one or the other, but this person's like throwing in misogyny for some reason. I don't get it at all. God, fuck being an old man. I'm looking forward to be a bitch of an old woman to assholes. Bro, I bet this guy's like in his 50s. Jesus. I think we all have an idea of what this guy looks like, you know what I'm saying? Consider your internalized misogyny. Holy shit. And I like how this person just backs down immediately. I'm so sorry, I don't mean to. If you want me to delete the post, I can. Holy shit, dude. Grow a pair. Especially if you're trying to be an old man. Me, when I hear that a trans woman is reportedly in talks to play Princess Zelda in the Zelda movie, Visible Happiness. And yes, if you don't know, Hunter Schafer is the one who they're trying to cast as the new Zelda in the Zelda movie. I don't know how they see this going well in any sort of way, but you know what? I've never played Zelda, Legend of Zelda, so I'll let the Legend of Zelda fans in the comments go nuts about this. Representation plus pissing off as many conservatives as possible equal dream come true. You know, this is such a weird thing to want because I don't try to rage bait or anything. Like I mean, you know, I have fun on my channel, but at the same time, I'm not really actually trying to get people super upset. I'm really just trying to invoke discussion, but I know a lot of these people really, and a lot of people on the internet, it's definitely not just a left-wing thing, but I don't think this is a healthy way of going about trying to make societal change or political change. Like, if you're trolling, that's one thing, but these people are really serious, and there's a lot of people who are serious about just causing a lot of chaos and problems. It may be fun in the moment, but I definitely don't recommend it as a long-term strategy. It's not gonna look good. Fuck no. -8 downvotes. Why? It's just an actor for a movie. What does it matter if she's trans or not? She also fits the role well. Well, if you guys don't know, Hunter Schafer actually went on estrogen when they were like 14, I think. No, they started blockers at 14, estrogen at 16, and then probably got augmentation. Yeah, here we go. Augmentation surgery at 18. So what we are looking at, guys, is a victim. This is a victim. This person needs help, not to get propped up as a queen. It's really disgusting. Trans women are too strong to play sports. Trans women are too weak to serve in the military. This is not the argument that most people make. The real argument is that you're not allowed to have like severe mental health issues when you enter the military. I know that rule gets broken a lot, but I mean, this is something that's, you know, quite visibly obvious and something you actually have to disclose if you want to be transgender or whatever. So excluding them from the military makes sense from that angle, and I don't think a lot of people want the American citizens to be, you know, funding their surgeries or whatever they are deemed quote unquote medically necessary. And like I said, I'll touch on this again. I think if this was entirely just cosmetic, I would understand it more and I would be more open to accept it. But they push this stuff as if it's medically necessary, which I think is completely bullshit and is truly at the core of the evil. But let's go see what the comments say. In my opinion, they are trying to push a dated idea that being transgender is a mental illness more than anything. It is literally in the DSM-5 as gender dysphoria. It is like literally a mental illness. So gender dysphoria is a diagnosable condition, and our HRT and treatments are backed by science and medicine, and they hate this. Yes, guys, as if science and medicine has never been wrong ever. We have done a lot of atrocious things in the name of quote-unquote science and medicine to people, just because, you know, it pushed some weird idea. Mrs. Floppa just reminded me that smoking used to be considered like medically good for you, and they would allow kids to do it too. But let's keep reading. I believe that they are trying to say it's not backed by medicine and we are just sexual deviants. I mean, this is actually a part of it. Autogynephilia, like that's in the literal sense. Like, I'm not saying deviant as a negative. I'm saying they literally deviate from the normal population and what they are attracted to or whatever, or turned on by, and are pushing the narrative that we just need prayer and Jesus to fix us and our perversion. Now, I'm not religious, so I don't even need to take this argument, and you don't need to be religious to actually take all the same arguments and just look, you know? But these people are vile, evil, and literally voted for someone to be a someone known to be a perv in the cohorts with Epstein, but somehow we are the pervs. Projection much? I don't know why I read it as project, fucking English. Actually, no, they're not using it right. It's projection, fuck you. It is actually crazy to me how Democrats could run someone who's so fucking unlikable that Americans would pick someone who has a really sketchy background, like with Epstein, than, you know, their candidate. Like, how bad do your ideas have to be that the American public would pick them over you? I'll say it again. I wanted DeSantis to win. I think DeSantis was really politically effective. I wish he would have adopted like a lot of the policy, or a decent amount of the policies that Trump had. But in terms of like his political effectiveness, I think he's going to be a strong candidate in 2028. But who knows? Maybe I'll eat shit. Maybe I'll eat my words when that time rolls around. Capitalism is okay, I guess. Capitalism kind of sucks, actually. Capitalism is actively oppressive to many people and only serves the bourgeoisie. Oh my god, the socialism's coming out. I am a girl. I figured out capitalism sucks, then figured out I was a girl. You can really tell these people are still mentally 16 if they're still bitching about capitalism on Reddit. Holy shit. I'm sure the Soviet Union labor workers would have really loved to hear how you discovered that you were a woman now. Sorry, not a woman, a girl now. It's only because you live in a capitalist society that you're even able to post this trait on the internet. Congrats, as a gift you now have smaller pockets with less purchasing power. Are you sure you're talking about capitalism? What does wanting to be a girl have anything to do with being anti-capitalism? Capitalism in a capitalist society is a social systems and art of constructs that are drilled into your head as human nature, the way the world works, and the way things ought to be, etc. To become anti-capitalist requires questioning it, finding things that don't fit how you'd like to be, and imagining that there could be something else. If you've gone through that process with one thing, you can find yourself thinking, I wish I were a girl, but I can't be. It's easier to go, wait, says fucking who, and why not? Holy shit, dude, it feels like I'm diving into the mind of a teenager. Wait, why can't I be a girl? Like, dude, do you have any other fucking ambitions in life? What is actually keeping you in this mindset? And yeah, it's almost like we live in a society where you aren't the only person here, so you have to deal with the way other people interact with that society as well. If you're gonna go against it, you should definitely expect some pushback because most people's ideas actually don't get very far. And I'm sure they're way more reasonable than I just want to be a girl even if you're a guy. But still, this seems more like you're just questioning societal norms instead of being quote-unquote anti-capitalist. I mean, even though it could fall under that umbrella, it just seems like you just want to be a rebel. Capitalism is oppressive to minorities and is deeply swayed by the rich, privileged Christian cis white men. I think it really only applies to these two because there's plenty of Christian cis white men or people who fall into these categories that are not doing well at all, and I don't see how these people are oppressing minorities in any sort of way. If anything, it's rich people that make really big decisions that affect the lower classes, or people who have a lot of power like the government. But anyway, transness is opposed to capitalism if nothing else then because it is within capitalism's crosshairs. Being trans and pro-capitalist is something of a death wish, but also capitalism just sucks mega balls. Yes, I'm sure the useless transbian has created a better economic system than, whatever we're doing here over in the West that allows so many people to live very, very comfortably if they put in a lot of hard work. I'm not saying the system's perfect by any means, but the amount of verticality you can have is absolutely fucking nuts if you just put a lot of hard work into it. It's the most fair system, even though, like I said, it has flaws. And then we will end it on this one. So this person actually deleted the post, but thankfully, Mrs. Floppa got a better screenshot. So this was the original meme, being good Muslim, being a cute girl, and it's the metronome meme. This one is absolutely wild. Like I said, I don't know where the girl thing comes in. That is so weird. Why? It just gives me a bad feeling. I don't know. Maybe someone in the comments can describe it better, but I just hate when people use that word when they're like 25. Like, no, you're either a woman or a grown fucking man. There's a reason people have negative associations with you, and it's because you use that language. It's fucking weird. Stop. Any religion that doesn't let you be yourself is not one you should follow. Now, this is interesting because the way I approach this is I think people have bad ideas. Like, we have a lot of evolutionary mechanisms that make us do things that would be immoral in today's society. So I think that not being yourself is sometimes a good thing. Overcoming these primal behaviors is something that should be looked up to because they result in better societies, not something that should be looked down at. Like, why is being yourself the end-all be-all? Maybe yourself fucking sucks. I wouldn't tell Ian to be himself, or Anissa, because both of them are complete garbage people. Instead of being yourself, I always say, always look to improve. Where can I improve? Because at the end of the day, I think my system would lead you to be a more effective person and a better person than, just be yourself. Do whatever you want. Why did I sound like Jordan Peterson for a second? Being a cute girl all the way. As a fellow raised Muslim and ostracized by the community after coming out, I'd always choose being a cute girl. Closet was hell. Oh, and by the way, I looked on their profile. This person is 32 years old. You're a 32-year-old man wanting to be a cute girl. Please get some help. It doesn't have to be from your religious community, but go seek some real fucking help and advice. Dear Lord. But anyway, that's gonna be all for today, guys. I hope you enjoyed the video. Like, comment, and subscribe. If you want to be in the patron Discord, all you gotta do is become a member, or if someone gives you a membership, just send me a DM on Discord, and if you're on this list, just send it. Thank you to all my base gods, base legends, super based, and base certified members, and I will see you guys later. Peace.